Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name is Matt, and with me today I have Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing?
Hey, Matt. Hi, everybody. How are you? That was a cool intro.
Thank you.
This AI, Nuark, and what have you is really bringing figures to life, isn't it?
Well, some of it was.
Yeah.
Some of it was making that. KP says hello. Hey, hello, KP. Wow, it's been a little bit since I've talked to you. A lot has been going on in the Mantic world. And I think it's only right that we start to talk about Assassin's Creed Animus, the up-and-coming, amazing-looking board game. It's going to be on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of things. I think the first thing is, and the way Mantic Board Games Division came about is in the early days when we were starting out with licensing, we were looking for miniature war games. And The Walking Dead, I kind of had a meeting. It was very fortuitous and serendipitous. And I met a wonderful guy who knew and had played with miniatures and had played miniature games. And so I knew what we were talking about. And we got The Walking Dead, and it was phenomenal. And it kind of brought us to a whole new audience. A chap called Sean gave us that license. We was going well. What you realize is there isn't an awful lot of games that are going to make a war game. They're great licenses, but they don't necessarily lend themselves. So, we got to Hellboy and we did a dungeon crawler, which I think is a miniature board game, but that was right in our wheelhouse. So I was, by this point, 3-4 years in, I'm having great conversations with people, but and I've been chatting to Ubisoft, I'm chatting to Microsoft, Xbox Studios. Long story short with the Ubisoft is that we looked at a heap of their licenses, and the only miniatures game in Assassin's Creed, in my view, is the one that has been done by Triton Noir a few years ago, which was cool. It was Venice, it's rooftops, and that's the kind of iconic first thought. But since then, the IP's developed a heck of a lot. Valhalla, Odyssey, there's tons of different storylines. As well, if you can't do, if there isn't a miniature, is there a miniatures game? How do you make a Valhalla a miniatures game? It's a conquest game. Then you start fighting those guys against Greeks. Well, they don't meet in the license. It doesn't resonate. And we always work really hard to make sure that the license reflected. But what's cool about it is the Animus ties all these timelines together. So I said, well, then let's make a proper brilliant board game.
Right.
And like Hellboy was a brilliant board game, and like Walking Dead was just, you didn't even want to move a figure because there's these walkers and zombies everywhere. And, like if you make a noise, they come charging you and eat you. And total fear. With Hellboy, it was all about like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm just going to start smashing things. And, we'll end up finding a big boss baddie. And, will we do it or won't we? So it was really great for us to just properly do a board game. And then I got a brilliant board game writer, Jack Cesar, who's worked on a lot of board games, worked with Umbrella Academy with us. But this time and I said I wanted something that reflects, easy to learn, but then reflects each timeline. So it's asynchronistic. And he loved that challenge. And if you haven't watched it, go to On Tabletop and watch, because that playthrough was just great fun. It was a real giggle. And it's got a slight steep learning curve in the first 10 minutes, but that's the fun of a board game.
Right.
And then you're like, oh. So, and I took it to the guys, and I took it over to our Pathfinders at Gen Con last week, and I played it with them. And the first night we sat there, played a game. They were like, again. I come back from the show the next day. They've got into my room, nicked it out of my room, and Jack and Michael are playing it like crazy. So it's a wonderful board game for a very big IP.
Right.
Each era, each timeline is really fun to play.
Yeah, and I used to play Assassin's Creed, so I'm excited for it for sure. It really appeals, and I love the figures that you have for it already. They're beautiful. And
we had to do something
right.
Sculpting, didn't we? We couldn't not. It's kind of a Mantic trademark.
And they're just they're made of that master craft resin that you made these champions with, right?
Yeah, well, I think that'll probably, when we do the mass production, they'll be in the same as we've done the Banished.
Okay, perfect. That's just as good. I mean, I'm very, very, very impressed with
Yeah,
that.
well, I'm tell you about champions, but just wrapping up Assassin's Creed, you've got
Right.
all these timelines, and if you're doing, Ezio, he goes to Da Vinci's house, and
Right.
he gets inventions that allows you to bounce around the board. Whereas if you're playing Connor, you've got the homestead, and actually that just is a good loop, but it means you've only got 2 places to go and do your assassinations on. So each one is really different. There's desync tokens, which means when in the game when you used to go killing civilians, it'd be like, don't do that.
Right.
So if you're just brutal and bulldoze your way through it, you can do it, but you'll end up collecting more desync tokens, and they come off your score at the end. So there's really some great quirky playabilities. What's nice about it, it's not a miniatures game. It is absolutely a board game. It's made for people that play Assassin's Creed. It's not, I expect Mantic fans that like Assassin's Creed to look at it, but I don't expect Mantic fans to look at it in the same way as a Mantic fan would look at Epic or would look at Champions. Or would, hey, I love Mantic sci-fi universe. I'm looking at Epic. I'm looking at Dead Zone. I'm looking at Firefight. This isn't made for the few Mantic fans that like Assassin's Creed. This is made for Assassin's Creed fans.
Right.
And a few of those will be Mantic fans. But, it's a game designed, our language partners. It's a bit like Worms. Worms is one of those games where we had a lot of fun with it. It's a big hit. It's not one and done, but one and done. But it's, with every single timeline we've got, you're going to have a lot of fun. So if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, have a look at it, because you can play it with non-gamers. You can play it with a board game crowd. You can play it with, it's a big, appeals to a big market.
Right. And I watched that playthrough. It was funny. It was fun. And it actually
like the reveals at the end. We won't give the surprise away, but I knew what was coming. So I was like,
Well, I mean, after watching it though, it appealed to me more. And I'm more on the miniature side, and I have Worms and I played it with the kids. It's fun. And it's, I really enjoyed it. But Assassin's Creed has all those different elements in it to where it feels like, to me, it seems like it feels that no 2 games are the same, and
they absolutely aren't. And I played it 4 or 5 times since the development phase. And then I've seen it played twice that many. And that's only with 4 of the characters, because we only got 4 printed off and carded up and everything else. And every single game is hugely different. Sometimes here really high scoring, and sometimes people just chunk through. Other times kind of much slower and more composed. And it's it's really, really good fun and a great gaming evening. And the Mega Pledge is absolutely knockout. We've got a folding door with drawers that come out. So all your miniatures will be laid out. All your timelines will be laid out there. So you can pick your timeline, pick your cards out, pick your bust out. So it really is a mega box. And then we've got a slightly one level down where you just got 6 timelines, and then one with all 10, maybe 12. I forget how many I'm supposed to say, but with stretch goals and everything else. And then if you don't fancy either of those, a year later, there'll be a retail version, which will just have the main 4 timelines.
Well, don't worry. I'll be a mega pledger for you. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah. To do anything else just isn't really the sensible way to be, is it?
Right. So that's awesome. It's great to hear. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to play it myself. I'm a little jealous. I couldn't go to Gen Con. I wanted to. I tried to, but it just didn't work. Just didn't work out.
Life gets in the way, doesn't it? It's Hi Gherkin, hi Mr. Blueprinter, hi MH777, and I'm dread to think who KP is. Who is KP?
I don't know, but
I think he might have does he have a Polish surname?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's find out. Anyway, a few guys will recognize that. Hi everybody.
Oh, Kyle. Yeah. Well. Anyway, so and by the way, Aaron does say hi, and he wanted me to shout him out. And the St. Louis Pathfinders meetup group that we have here at Miniature Market, they all say hello. They knew I was going to be up here, on here, talking to you. And I don't know if you froze. Did you freeze? Uh-oh, we lost Ronnie. I really enjoyed playing it at Beast of War. Oh, okay. I think I've lost Ronnie, but that's okay. We can get him back. That's really exciting what he said about Animus. I'm super stoked for that. It seems like a really amazing board game, and we will get Ronnie back here in a second. Yep, he is gone, but he will be back. Don't worry, folks. Let's see. I'll message him again. I really want to talk to him about Champions as well. Champions is by far one of my favorites right now. I love Kings of War, the new Axel Thirstbrook that's coming out, and I really want to paint it and put it on the table. I'm actually working on my Reapers right now, so we're just waiting on Ronnie to pop back in here. All right. We will be right back in a minute. I think everyone's been waiting for that a little axolotl. Yes. He looks so cool. Like, honestly, I didn't think something like that would be this exciting, but it is super, super exciting. And also for Epic Warpath, I can't wait for that. Like that is sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see here. More here. All right, we're going to be right back. We're going to get Ronnie back on.
Okay, so it looks slightly different. I'm back in. I'm coming in through my phone, I'm afraid. I don't know what's happened, but our whole Wi-Fi is just shut down in the house.
That's okay.
So I don't know if it's the whole area.
It happens.
Yeah.
But the whole
jinx. So sorry about that, ladies and gents. Hello, everybody.
I was just talking about how the axolotl and champions and stuff like that, and is it Jerison said he really enjoyed playing it at Beast of War. So
yeah. That's right. Yes, okay. I know who that is now. Good.
The whole St. Louis crew wanted me to pass on a hello to our group that we have that's growing rapidly with Halo and Firefight and fantasy and stuff like that. They're really excited about everything coming out. Oh, there it goes again. He's gone. We might have some. There he is, right there. He's back again. There he is.
Playing silly buggers now. So I'm coming in through my 4G. I'm just going to turn my mobile hotspot off actually because I turned that on to try and get the computer going. Right, we'll go through this. Yeah, no, it seems like I hoped, I planned and worked hard that Halo would allow those people that hadn't looked at Mantic for a while or had looked 10 years ago and hadn't looked again to just come and have a look and see what it feels like to have fun when you're playing with miniature games. You know, and 4 models and IP that people know and love.
Right.
Very easy to get into, very easy to learn the rules. And then you start, the onboarding process is just the hardest bit of learning a new game. And then I don't want to paint another 50. I can do 4. I can do 4 Spartans. That's easy. And obviously when you've done 4, you find you can do.
We're going to keep losing him. Yeah. Oh, no. There he is.
I don't know what's going on, guys. It hooked me on a 5G now, so let's see. So maybe that's the Wi-Fi back. Let me.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Maybe my computer can come back on. Is it better? Is this okay?
Or yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with this, and if it shuts down again,
right,
or my phone's not great or gets laggy, but that's probably hooked up onto our Wi-Fi, and we're here. So.
That's okay. Yeah, Halo. When I first got it, it reminisced it reminded me very much of Dead Zone, right? Because it's Dead Zone rules.
Yeah.
But when I played it with my son, I go, holy smokes, this plays like the video game, like respawning and coming out and shooting, and you feel even for a while. And then you added the Banished and the war games. And now it becomes a point system game. And you're like, oh, what's he going to take? What can I take to counteract that? And it's starting to very much get interesting. You know?
And I think the joy is for a lot of people who maybe like Halo, the Spartan edition, the Recon edition is certainly enough for a heck of a lot of playability. You know, you play the reverse side a couple of times, 2v2. Just let's get the familiar mechanics going. Let's learn what optics is, rapid fire is, rate of fire, electronic shield disruptors. How do I move? What does being higher mean? All those lovely little techniques. And I think that's almost like the tutorial in the computer game. It's like the first level.
Yep.
Flip it over. Right, let's play a 4-point Slayer. Yep. Play that a couple of times. Right, really got this because now all of a sudden ranges come into play. You move the terrain around, so it's different every time. How you respawn, where you respawn, different every time. Okay, now let's put equipment down and let's put a weapon spawn. Because I know all the basics. We've done it all a few times. Let's go to 6 kills. And every time your game experience is getting richer, it's getting a lot of fun. Okay, we've played it now with equipment drops. We know what the keywords there are. We know what a grav hammer does. We know what a power sword does. We know how to pick those up. Okay, let's go and play oddball. Now let's go and play capture the flag. Totally different play experience again because it's just a different kind of stress. So just with one, $75 or $125 and $39 game, you've got 100 hours without even painting.
Right,
then you paint them, you've got another 10 hours. So if you don't ever want to go any further than that, just do drafting 4-on-4. Everything in that Spartan is you've still got choice with army building, but we've balanced it. I want to take 2 Dead Eyes and 1's Brawler. Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But then those nutters in the world, and I know you're out there, who want to start army list building and who want to start going into tournaments and min-maxing this and kicking the crap out of that and outrageous builds, it's all there too. That's all coming. Now you can't fully balance a game without points. You can't put Banished in against a Spartan. You can't put Grav Havers versus a guy with a Bulldog because they're just different levels. You're both Spartans, but one's got a better weapon than the other. So we had to put points in. but you don't need to go there. You certainly don't need to go there until you want to change your gameplay experience. And boy, oh boy, does that change your gameplay experience. Right, I'm coming loaded with grenades. I'm going to be loaded with medipacks. I want them to have a, ammo pack. And so, it's fun, light, hilarious, get the 8 trains rolling in 100 hours. And if you want to go more, if you want to take it on to the next level, that it becomes an infinite and compelling, really exciting, low model count fantasy skirmish game. I think Dead Zone was the best in the world, but I think Halo's taken it because of the IP and because of just how playable it is. I think it's the best low model count, as in sub 10, most fun miniature game, sci-fi, low model count, skirmish miniature game in the world by a country mile. And I'll put that up against any game. Anyone wants to play me theirs versus mine, I'll play them. I don't think you'll have more fun playing any game.
Dead Zone. I've had hours of fun with Dead Zone from its incarnation. I was one of the very first set, and I remember it too, putting together those plastic miniatures with the nubs going, what do I do here?
Yeah, that wasn't the best hobby experience. Yes. We've evolved from that.
It worked, and they looked good, and it was fun. And then as it evolved from there, I agree with you 100%. I really like Dead Zone a lot. My son was like, let's take the respawns from put them into Dead Zone. I go, no.
Yeah. Suddenly you've taken out my army out killing a 50-point model and abomination, aberration, and now it comes back on.
Exactly.
I think certainly by the time it hit second edition, that was a very polished. I think the first edition was good, but we probably were a touch ambitious. It was somewhere between a very low model count skirmish game. I mean, at one point I was like, let's work out how many bullets there is in each magazine. You know what I mean? And then you realize you're spending your whole time counting bullets and not actually running around shooting things. So, we had ammo, guns, and all manner of stuff in there. And with the second edition, we streamlined it to make it a really fun game experience, not a kind of degree in accountancy. I
remember the cards, the cards and the card systems and stuff like that. I love that you streamlined that.
Yeah, it just made it faster and better. And then the third edition, I think the community really, the real hardcore group playing it at that point, and they really just knocked all the rough edges off it. What was joyous is it meant that when we came to do Halo, we'll go Dead Zone. Hashtag Dead Zone is life. By the time we hit third edition, it was a very, very slick system, and we could just have some fun. And we need, we've got some plans for it. We did a big splurge on it last year. We did we did a little digital support, a digital campaign with it, and alongside the Sci-Fi Summer last year. And we absolutely are convinced that as Halo, when it's complete, there will be an opportunity to onboard a lot of those people into Dead Zone proper,
right?
And kind of go, look, guys, we're some of you are going there with Dead Zone, but Halo is another. Here, have a look at this. It's a different game. It's a bit more tactical. It's a bit slower. It's a bit more violent. But boy, oh boy, if you like those kind of games, this is Halo on brown bread.
Well, a lot of people love the list building. Like my son's a fanatic about it. That's all the kid does is just makes lists and lists and lists. He loves it. He got the whole Strike Force, the rats and everything. And he said, I'm going to make 15 lists for Dead Zone until I perfect it. I'm going to make 15 lists for Firefight. And this is a kid who never built, painted, done any of that. And
we're seeing, this is part of the ethos of Mantic, is that my kids grew up and there wasn't a game I could play with them. And I thought Dead Zone, and the Dungeon Saga. And then the Dungeon Saga, all the pieces in it were really small. Not Dungeon Saga Origins, Dungeon Saga. It was easy enough to play, but it took me 40 minutes to set it up. By that point, they've come downstairs, got bored, gone back up onto the Xbox. So when we did Dungeon Saga Origins, which was a kind of remake, but then it was really quick. It was really easy. So dads can play with their kids. Dads and mums, you can play. And we built the app so you can be with them, guiding them, but really watching them, because when you've had kids, you realize that spending time with them is a pleasure and a joy.
Right.
If you can do that while they're learning a little bit about the hobby that we're all obsessed with, oh my gosh, nothing gets better than that.
It doesn't.
But you've got to be building the games that allow that and enjoy that, and it's fun and you're laughing. And I think Halo does it. We had a guy come around yesterday in the UK. 20 years ago, he'd done the old GW stuff, got out of it. Real life gets in the way. Sun sits 10, 10, 11. I'm looking around. What I'm going to find? Halo plays that just like you. That's it. Eyes have been open. If this is this good, what else do these guys do? Oh my God, Kings of War. Oh my God, Armada. Yeah. And off they go. And so, this is very much, we're building it so that, and yes, it's a shorthand, dads and lads, but it's also, you can take it to your game club and say, look, let's play Halo. And then everyone goes, this is bloody fantastic. What else have we got? Well, do you want to go deeper in this kind of stuff? We've got Dead Zone. No, I want to do like a mass battle sci-fi game. We'll do Epic. I want to do a rank and flank game. We'll do Kings of War. And suddenly you're able to go around and go, I think we're doing best fantasy rank and flank game. I think Kings of War always has been. I think there's some stuff coming, but I think it's up there. Playability, I'm talking about here. I'm talking about building the IP, but as playability, that's the by far. You've got Halo and Dead Zone, low model count skirmish games. There's nothing anywhere close to it. And in the next 4 to 6 weeks, if we can get the bloody Trump tariffs out of the way, but please God, everyone's going to be playing Epic. And I think you're going to have, on tabletop, we filmed 2 back to back. We did film Assassin's Creed one day and we filmed Epic Warpath the next day.
Excellent.
And just so much fun. And I think that's where we're trying to go. The rule book is what you learn. And then you have fun by playing the game that's in front of you. You know the rules. You know what you need to do. Don't get hit in the flank. Don't pick the wrong command order. Get higher, get clear shots. Whichever game you're playing, these games have that simplicity and joy.
Right.
That it's about the decisions you make, and you can live in the visual moment.
And that's where I come from. And I've been searching for 20 years, and it's been right in front of me, of course, for 10. But I've been searching for 20 years of something that I can bring them in, and there's everything in one spot, and the rules are not super complicated. The complexity is with the special rules. Rank and flank. My son Eli, there's a video coming out next week. Him and Henry, my son Eli and Henry, Aaron's son, they played a game of Champions and did a battle report. So for him,
isn't that fantastic? And that's kind of what we're trying to create. And then now they're building soldiers, and then they're building their army list, or they're painting their miniatures, and they're building a little diorama. And you're growing up with all these champions, and those champions are in this Panithor story arc going to be the very big players in the next phase of the story. I mean, a little bit of a secret, but Riordan, who 10 years ago was in the Dungeon Saga game, is going to become a very big player in the dwarf background in the next couple of years when that starts to drop. All these stories are really so, and all the champions are coming through now in the next phase of the whole Panithor story arc. And some big things are going to be happening pretty soon. These guys are starting here, but we've got whole story arcs mapped out for them, and they're going to go on and become some of the kings and leaders and big players of the story. And so you're going to be all able to watch this all happening. All the books are tying in with it, and stuff.
I just love Kings of War. Kings of War is you said Dead Zone. I would put Kings of War against any rank and flank big game out there myself.
Yeah, I would
love it. I love Champions. Champions is allowing me to build a small amount of miniatures, paint them up for a game I can play right away of armies I wouldn't want to play big Kings of War with. And me being the artist, kind of on the artist side of it and the painter side of it, I would never have bought. I shouldn't say that. I would never have bought a Night Stalker's army for Kings of War big battles because it's not my play.
It's the same with me. I've always wanted to do a Northern Alliance army, but haven't done my dwarf. I'm like, oh, come on, Ronnie, 200 figures and finding the town and else. As soon as the Champions came out, brilliant, because I want to do this ice thing. I haven't got it up here. I'll show it. I'll put it on my Facebook. But I've been working about a month on ice. I might be able to post a picture of the. So I've got this water effect. And I've been layering it, and it just anyway, I'm nearly there. And so I've been doing lakes because ice lakes and. Anyway, but it allowed you to do something. And then I was like,
And the joy, and actually, with fairness to Andy, he came out, it was his project to kind of lead, and we were originally going to do that. And then here's your add-on box, and he said, no, we're just going to do, here's the champion, and here's his gang.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to paint it, and you know what you're going to do when you're finished? You're going to pick another one, and you're going to go, that's a nice hobby project. And one of them, you'll go, that was the one that I really enjoyed. That was the one I liked. That's the Kings of War army. But the joy is some people don't want big battles of rank of 200 figures. They're now champions. When we had Ambush, it wasn't really a game. It was only a stepping stone into Kings of War.
Right.
It was low points of Kings of War, but pure Kings of War. And so it lacked that kind of just spice, like the garlic, like the chili that gives the flavor to a low point game. So when we look, I said, right, let's do champions. And what we're going to do with champions is the hero is going to be slightly OP compared to what they do in Kings of War, because we don't want Kings of War to be about wizards and generals destroying unit after unit and just charging around. It's about armies, rank and flank, where heroes are buffs. Heroes are the difference between winning that combat and not. They're the guys that just come in there and keep their leadership, keeping you on the table for one more turn. They are the spice and the finesse, but they are behind the units. Whereas with this, you're moving the same way. You're building your units into regiments, making those beautiful, beautiful dioramas that we make, each one telling a story. And that's just a joy when you discover that it's a joy rather than 20 mil bases. Right. But the hero is holding it all together. They're issuing these commands, and that's where the army is anchored around them. They're slightly OP compared to a build battle, but it makes it characterful. So it can be a stepping stone to Kings of War, but it can also just be a blinking good game in its own right.
Right. And I play big Kings of War, but I enjoy the heck out of Champions, and it's got my youngest son off video games.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, Halo will, Assassin's Creed will, Champions will, Worms will, and all of these is about, you know, spending time together, being social together. They have to be fun. They have to be easy enough to learn, hard enough to master, but fun.
Right.
Fun. You've got to enjoy it, you know, whereas I think some board gamers that love board games love really hard board games. I've got the attention span of a gnat. I want to learn how to play it, and I want to. And honestly, when we're writing rules, if it does it, I say, well, let's put ourselves on the battlefield right now. You know, with the whole rank hitting in the flank, hitting in the rear from Kings of War.
Right.
You know, in ancient times, you know, pre-gunpowder, units rarely were massacred to a man. It was the breaking point that when the unit says, wait a second, I don't like this anymore. Right. And they run. And that's what, you know, then you got massacred because then they're running it after you and hacking you and everything else, and the cavalry and harry them off the board, dissolve them as an army. But it was breaking point, which is where nerve comes from. But you say, I was chatting with Alessio right when we're writing this, and he said, if it comes in the flank, you know, what's the correct massacre? Because basically, you punch your hole through and then you start lapping round. And that was how you outnumbered and outweighed, and you made your numbers count or good movement. Put it into I said, well, if I'm fighting to the front, I expect my guys to the side fighting to the front, the guys behind kind of pushing in and piking over the top, or you kind of create this wedge of truth. If all of a sudden the guy to your right and all of the guys to your right suddenly go, oh, shit. And they start, excuse my French, but they start looking and they're not long and concentrating on the guys you're fighting. Right. They're clearly distracted. You're going to be going, what's going on here? What's going on? So it's going to be pretty worrying. Right. If the guys behind you suddenly aren't behind you because they're fighting something else and they get dying, and then you just think like, okay. So I just said, just double the number of attacks, triple the number of attacks. And he's like, you're a lunatic. I said, well, let's just try it. Right. Because that's what its effect is. It's not just the damage they're doing, it's the confusion that flank attack is coming in. And you get a heavy cavalry thundering into your flank. Very rarely in history is anyone standing there 10 minutes later. Right. They've just been trampled to the ground because I'm engaged in the front, I'm fighting these guys, and then this huge army of Scots Greys comes thundering into my side. Whoa, that's going to devastate you. And into the back, forget about it. It's over.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, exactly. You hold a cavalry unit up, It's no longer a thundering charge. You know, you got it. And how do you defeat cavalry? You pull them off the horse and you stab them in the visors.
Right.
You know, you wallop them on the head. You outnumber them and jab them to bits, which is the whole, you know, tying them up. So I put myself, you know, when I do a demo for Halo, I say, listen, the game is built like you're in cover, because that model is not static. That Spartan is over in that area. Can I see it? Yeah, I can shoot at it. But he's going to be ducking behind pillars and clipping some shots off, so you keep your head down. And what you're doing is, I in my move, I'm going to try and get some shots off. So I'm going to roll my dice and see if I can knock him down.
Right. And
so I just say, well, so, okay, if I'm higher and I'm shooting down on you, I've got an advantage. We all know tactical height advantage. Okay, so I got extra dice.
And I played tons of rank and flank games before, and all of them lacked that realism, that style of realism of routing, because that's how battles, Macedonians and the Romans, they would break the army and they would run to fight another day. They would rarely be annihilated down to the last man.
Yeah. And also, if you take models off, as you take models off, your attacks get weaker because you lose rank attacks, you lose things. What I'm saying is, no, you fight absolutely. So at turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, the whole thing goes. And if it holds, if you've got some heals back on it, if you've got a leader next to it, if you've protected that flank attack and that unit holds, that allows your other guys to do it, and that's how you win the day. And it's all about making those great decisions, sometimes a little bit of luck. But if you consistently make bad decisions, then probably the luck is not going to save you.
And you still have Kings of War historical, right?
Pardon?
You still have Kings of War historical, right?
Yeah, I mean, it needs a new edition. I think we'll get around to it now. Alessio's working with us more. We can revisit that because it's also a great way of playing. If you want to play a mass 25,000 Napoleonic points, but it plays in a certain way. I've gone up and played a few games of historical stuff recently, and historical games are very different because they pay more attention to the confusion and the orders and all that stuff. Whereas actually, I think our players have far more agency. But you're going to lack some historical accuracy in doing so. But I think you can play
it's a game
battle, and you can play it in 3 hours, and it will feel very dynamic, and there'll be outcomes, and it's great. And there's the tipping points and the breaking points, and it's cinematic. And I try and create cinema through the dice and your decisions, giving you wow moments that feel very genuine, whichever game it is.
You want to answer some questions here? We got a couple here from
Rust. I'm not going to go onto the chat myself. I'd love to, but I think that's when we've been logging out. So as soon as I try and change, so I'm just going to.
Okay, it says
everybody. I hope you're all there, and I'm just not going to dare go to the chat, because if I do, I'll.
How has the Vault changed Mantic's business profile? How has the feedback been from the subscribers, and any plans to sell your backlog through MMF?
Yeah, that's my mini factory. So really interesting. I mean, the decision with the Vault was, this is not a place to put some rubbish, some like, hey, people, if you want to subscribe, want to get something meaningful. It's right. So the last game that we'd launched before we launched the Vault was Armada. It was a lockdown game where we made it all in resin in the UK. So we had all these absolute world-class sculpts, fantastic rules set, and a good active gaming community. And I said, well, I think people would quite happily pay to subscribe to print this. And it opens us up to a whole new group of people that maybe haven't played Mantic before and are printing models for other games. And so I think the subscribers are mostly Mantic fans. And I've got dads and lads again going, look, I'd looked at Armada, but I'd never pulled the plug. As soon as I'm getting it for £4 a month, £5 a month, whatever it is, including my, tenner, including my companion, because I've got that for Kings of War. So for £10 a month, I've got another game, and we print a couple of boats every month. And every 2 months, we've got a whole new fleet. So we're just constantly playing, painting, playing. People are going crazy for it. We love it. We then did take that and put it on my mini factory, where you could buy fleets. So that was kind of us going out to those guys and saying, hey, look at this. And we did that with Dead Zone as well. We started rolling. So the Vault, brilliant. We love it. big plans coming for the next year and the year after. So the end of this year and the year after, we're going to make it even bigger to go to those people. I think once people, three types of people in the world, obviously, those that never buy a printer. I'm never buying a bloody printer. Well, I do. I bought 15 printers, but they're at the office and I'm not doing them. I'm not doing that. If I can you just print that off for me? The second type, big group, buy a printer, intrigued by it, do it twice, and then goes a bit like making your own bread. I can make my own bread in this bread maker, or I can just go to the shop and buy some that's perfectly adequate. Thank you very much. So, and I know and occasionally they'll go along and they want a single sculpt figure for a D&D game, and they'll crank it up, and then they realize all the resin's dried up, and but they're intrigued, but they're occasional users. Great to do a conversion or something else. Third group, it's as part of their hobby. Clive Stone in our place, cleric, he doesn't really buy soldiers anymore. He prints them because he enjoys doing it. He loves setting a bed up. He loves coming down and picking them off. So for him, that's part of the joy. I like clipping them off sprues these days. I love it. I actually clip them off. Can't bother painting it. Just give it away. Like, here you are. He loves printing. Okay. So what we're going to do is, however you want to play Mantic, come play Mantic. Right. You want to buy plastic sprues? Buy plastic sprues. You want to 3D print it? 3D print it. Right. And, we're going to we've got a campaign coming up for Epic on my mini factory to go to all those guys who currently don't play Mantic. Because if you play Mantic, you can get it from us. We'll have it through the Roby subscription because people have bought it, but we'll have that available on our own site. Come and print it. Oh, awesome. It saves us having to ship resin all the way around the bloody world. You do that for us. Fantastic. Yeah. But we're going to go out to my mini factory hot on the tails of the trade release, because I think these people do not buy plastic soldiers anymore. Right. They buy 3D prints. So we're going to come out and say, come play our game. The community's going crazy. It's a fantastic, beautiful game. You can just buy it off us and buy it print, and you're going to be playing the legitimate version. You can come to the tournament with your army. It's tournament legal because it's Warpath armies, it's Forge Fathers, it's Asterians. It is what it is. So we want you to come and play our games. We don't care which way you do them. We want you to use our models. Yes, please. We'd love you to do that. But if you want to print them, print them. If you want to buy plastics, buy plastics. If you want to buy resin, buy resin. We'll make it what we want. We're like the martini girl of wargaming. I'm in your camp. I'll never buy one. But I have friends. Yep. Yeah. And people I've met. You don't say, hey, look, I want 10 of this. Right. For some crazy project. So you buy the file, you send it to them, they print it off for you. Thanks very much. Boom. Excellent. And here's another question. I'll read it out. Will there be another attempt at the Kings of War Vanguard RPG? I was on the Kickstarter for the original and looking forward for more complete projects. Yeah, I mean, that was one of those heartbreakers where Vanguard. We gave it to somebody because we weren't, at the time, we didn't do RPGs, we didn't do board games. We were absolutely a miniatures company that was keeping us flat out. And as we've got a bit bigger, we've had increasing this Mantic resin is really nice. Have you seen the Unicool? Oh my goodness. And so we went to a company, and the guys, there was 2 of them involved. We thought they were great. They'd come with a great pedigree. They kind of broke up. The one that did it, I said to me, sure you can deliver this before you raise? Yeah, we can do it. People, I say to people, look, everyone's got one Kickstarter in them. You've got to be certain kind of crazy to do 2. We're on 28, just for the record, so it just tells you how insane we are. But delivering a Kickstarter is not easy. It's a real labor. And so I realized they might not have enough bandwidth to keep more busy. So we gave them Hellboy as well, so that gave them more money and more opportunity. And we worked on that, but then we kind of project managed that, assuming that they were cracking on with. Anyway, I don't want to go there, but it was a sad moment because it's the first time that we didn't do it on purpose because it wasn't our core skill set. And so, as we get bigger, I really want to go back, and the 2 areas that we want to. The 2 areas we're definitely going to revisit is Vanguard, but it will be a more narrative, low model count skirmish game with no grunts. I think more along the lines of named characters and named heroes. So like champions, but on every single model in your army, in your factions. Right. And obviously, I really want to go back to Dungeon Saga, which is a quasi RPG with miniatures, and we could just tip it over now. We've got the skills to do an RPG. So currently not yet on the slate. We're up to the end of 26. We've got a lot of plans for Kings of War next year. A lot of big plans for that. So that's kind of number one alongside Halo for the sci-fi. We then need to get some Walking Dead and some Dead Zone Warpath on the slate. So I think those 4 are going to keep our core studio busy. There are kind of 4 miniature games all covered. But I think after that, then one of those 2 will be coming up because there's too many stories to be told and the stories are getting more and more exciting.
Right.
And I think Champions, Kings of War sits up here, Champion sits here, and then Vanguard sits underneath that, and like Dungeon Saga underneath that in terms of how narrative they are.
Well, Kings of War and Champions are my favorite. So
Mine too.
all good news. So let's roll into Warpath, Epic Warpath.
Okay.
I'm really interested in seeing that in front of me. I've seen some photographs. Wow. And I think it's going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be another one of those, firefight, dead zone. I put this game up against yours any day kind of thing, just based on what I've seen. Tell us about what's going on with that and how that's going and what we're gonna expect.
So you'd think that small models would be really easy to tool and make.
No.
I'm going from 4 armies, which are virtually done, to 8 armies. Yeah, fine. So let me tell you, oh my God, this has been the hardest project we've done for a very, very long time. I'm going to sprue here, but when you do a 28mm figure, we're getting 3 to 4 pieces per model, 10 models, 40 cuts. We're getting nearly 1.5 times that. And every cavity is as hard, whether it's in 6mm, 10mm, 12mm, 28mm. So incredible. But when people are seeing these sprues, they are mind-blowing. They are absolutely mind-blowing. And the scale is just gorgeous. It just feels right. You've got a whole 6x4 with minis really zooming around all over the place. The game's design with Alessio and Matt is fantastic. Like I said, I played it when I was at the On Tabletop Guys. Do watch out for that because I think you'll see just how much fun it is. I'm trying to take down 2 super heavies, just plowing towards me and just getting fired at and shot at. And it's very cinematic. It's very good. That whole command and control vibe, which you don't need in Kings of War level games, the next level up, I think is important because you commit your orders and then tactically your captain's got to make a decision about what he does. But he can only within the confines of what's happened. And I go, you go, I go, you go. So there's a constant interaction of I'm countercharging it. Right, well, actually, I think they're going to do that. So I'm going to plan to stand and fight. And then he doesn't do that. You're like, oh, crumbs, So really great, good fun. Models are stunning. The backers have been very patient. We've got 300 out. We'll have another 300 out by the end of Tuesday. And we were going to basically go through army by army by army. Mm-hmm. And as the new army plastics comes in, we cast that in resin. We finish off the last bits and out that army goes. It's going to take us about 4 to 6 weeks. The de minimis has just changed. So we weren't worried about shipping it to backers in the US, with which there's about 900, 1,000, because it was generally they were going to be under the $800 minimum tariff threshold.
Right.
So we could just ship them and it's tariff free. And last week we found out that is gone and it's gone in 14 days from now time. So I'm going to get an update out next week, but what we're going to do is prioritize all of the US backers and get them as much of their army as we possibly can. We think we'll be able to get them 6 or possibly 7 of the plastic armies, the rule book, the dice, all of that, the mats and the reading book. We'll get them all of those. And then after that, we'll have to sort out what happens. But at least any tariffs that are being paid will be on a tiny fraction of the order. So it'll be $25 left to ship. So it's a $2.50 tariff. Okay, fine. Doesn't mean we're going to incur double shipping. We'll have to see what that means. But we just want to look after the backers as best we can and get them as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So they can go good news is we've got 6 of the 8 sprues in. The 7th arrives next week or the week after. The 8th is just being finished, and it's very quick once they've been finished. Everything's being cast in the resin room and some 3D printing. So we're trying that out as well, which has been an eye-opener. But rule books are in. Backers are getting sorted out August and the first 2 weeks of September. And then we're rolling it into a retail launch. So, beautiful game, very good fun, visually gorgeous. First 4 armies coming out. So the backers have got access to all 8. Retail's getting the first 4. And then we're going to put out 2 and then 2. Watch this space. Watch it. The noise really cranks up in about 2 weeks. We did ODST last week just because people were getting their banished. We just talked to them about that. And then next week, I just want to get some more in the hands of the backers and then start talking it up for retail because then people can jump on board. So I think retail orders will go up 1st of September, with September being all about Epic.
And Jerison says, you realize if Warpath catches on like everyone hopes, then the next question will be Epic Scale Fantasy.
Watch this space.
I like if that happens, I'm going to be doing dances and running around this room screaming, heck yeah, So it's I'm excited for everything. And there is no other miniature war game company that interests me at all anymore. So it really, you have everything, Ronnie, and it's awesome. I appreciate it, and I'm going to continue. And this is all where I'm going to be. So you just said banished.
Well, we just want lots more. I mean, our byword in the company is let's get recruiting, because we want to share. We needed to get to a point where we had something for everybody. I mean, I think if you don't like Halo, and you don't like Dead Zone, and you don't like Firefight, because don't forget, Halo is a beautiful IP. It's a licensed product, very easy to get. Okay, we know about. Dead Zone a bit more crunchy, or Firefight crunchy, but we've got Orcs, we've got Marauders, we've got Forge Fathers, we've got Enforcers, we've got GCPS, we've got Asterians, we've got fat giant lizards in in Samurai. We've got Ciphers, we've got all this IP building out. So if you don't like a sci-fi skirmish game and you don't like a sci-fi war game, and now you don't like an epic scale sci-fi game, and you don't like a licensed sci-fi game, and you don't like Walking Dead, and you don't like Champions, and you don't like fantasy, and you don't like Worms, and you like that, then you probably don't like what we do. Sorry, go sort somewhere else. But once you've got that, our job then is just to get people to get out there and be pathfinding about it, be at shows, talking about it, be passionate about it. We've just got a guy called Alex coming to join us in a couple of months to spread the word, because we want to share this fun. I've played Toy Stories all my life. I want dads and lads and mums and girls to enjoy playing with war games.
Absolutely.
And to have fun painting and to enjoy having social times. And I think from Worms through to epic sci-fi, we have a very broad but very beautiful portfolio of products that range from family Tuesday, Saturday afternoons through to an all weekend 48-hour 20,000 point Kings of War or epic scale battle. You really have choice now, and I think our job now is getting people to try it. I think we're the Dr. Pepper of wargaming, because I think, Dr. Pepper, what's the worst that could happen? And probably that's an English advert, so it might have left you Americans a little confused. But when you try it, okay, this is good. So we just recruitment, getting people to try it. Come and have a look, because we've probably got something and we think you like it.
Man, we got the chat going crazy here now. So let's hit it up here. Wait, here it is right here. Any plans for a big global campaign next year using all the sci-fi? Coughs. Need spaceships. Coughs.
Big global campaign using sci-fi needs spaceships. Got some plans for some big global campaigns next year. I think there'll be big Kings of War ones. That story is going to keep narrating. And I think one of the things I'm going to talk to Alex about is we want to orchestrate the organized play, not run it. We want people like yourself, Matt, or the US gaming, like Kings of War community to say, hey, we want to do this. And we're like, yeah, guys, do that. Let's enable you to do that. How do we make that happen? How do you want to tell us a story? Tell a story, play it, and we'll incorporate it somehow. And just kind of, I don't know quite how we do it yet, but I think that we've got organized play packs for Halo, for the Kings of War, because we want to empower this guy I was talking about yesterday who played with his son, took Halo, then took it to the Scouts. And suddenly kids that had never played miniature games before, or this has been unaffordable to them, or too complicated, too intimidating, are rolling dice, having fun. Okay, yeah, I want to know more about this. Can we come back next week and we play some more? And that's how we all learned, wasn't it? It was never, none of us sat down with a rule book and started reading. Our uncle or dad or the store manager showed us how to play.
Right. And that's the most fun. At being a Pathfinder, going up to the store, somebody walks in, what is that? And I start playing Dead Zone with him, and him and his son buys everything.
Yeah, well,
not expecting it
together. They're going to enjoy it, and they're going to go on a journey, and it's going to be great fun. And that's what that's what we're here for. That's what we're about, and what we just want to do that is on a massive scale.
And there's a lot of we want a spaceship combat game talk in the chat here.
Okay, let's go. Well, you screenshot that and send it over. Like I said, I'm not going to touch it. Seriously, was known as Dead Zone and Firefly. Yeah, I think I let Clive talk about the digital thing, and I think it went down like a fart in a spacesuit. So we have very, very big plans for Warpath, for Firefight and Dead Zone. I'm conscious that they've been slightly on a back burner this year because of Halo and Warpath, and we just can't do any more. You'll see, but at the end of the year, what the other thing we've been working on is through our core studio. They've had those. We've had 3 massive projects. 2 of them are out there. One's just delivering. The next one's a couple of months away. So, but then once we've got past this, then it does ease off, and we're going to do something. So, I suppose even though they haven't got me the likes and whatever I wanted on Facebook and what have you, we'll have to look at doing the rebs. But yeah, we're drawing our plans together for what we're actually pushing into putty in 2026 right now, and there's going to be some sci-fi on it for sure.
And Rusty Beetle wants to know when you're going to incorporate Halo minis into Dead Zone.
Not just yet. I don't want to upset Xbox Studios just yet. We've still got a fair amount of the Halo story to tell. And oh my goodness, watch this space. Because if you're into Halo, a little sneak peek about what's coming from us. Oh yeah, it's going to mind-blowing stuff. It's just getting started. We've only literally just got the second faction, Banished. Literally got the second faction. So we've had a year out of it. It's one of the biggest. Well, I think it's the 4th biggest selling game in North America. 4th biggest selling miniatures game in North America. That was taken before Banished. That was taken Q1. The only product we had in Q1 was Spartan, and in the end of the quarter, very end of the quarter, a bit of War Games. So I think Q2 we could be up higher. By Q3, by the end of the year, we're going to have ODST.
Yeah, ODST.
Like, come on, forget about it. So, I think I'm hoping that this is number 2 game by the end of the year. Oh, in which case, a whole load of people are like, "What the heck's this? I love Halo. I've never heard of Mantic. I've never heard of this Flashpoint, but God damn it, if it's second, I'm going to give it a try."
Right. And I guarantee you,
demo games, the events that's going on, organizers will start picking up and running events, 20 people, 30 people. We've got all the prizes there. We've got the nationals. You run what you want to run, guys. We've got a ranking on the app. If you're running an official tournament, so we have to be precise about this. It has to be one of the official tournaments running the official way, so it's fair for everybody, because otherwise someone goes to their bedroom and says, "Hey, the 8 of us are going to play this." And, oh, miraculously, we're top. So big official points through the normal organized play, but it's really, because we've done Dead Zone for 10 years, we know every rule and we know how to great organized play for it. At the end of each season, 2 seasons a year, I forget, but like May and November, if you are the number 1 ranked player in the world on Halo, we're going to sculpt your head on top of a Mark 7 and give it to you at 2 up.
That is fantastic.
One running forward machine gun, we're going to take the head off, we're going to get 5 or 6 pictures, and Luigi, our world famous sculptor, is going to sculpt your head. We're going to stick it on, we're going to spray it up, assemble it for you, send it to you with the trophy, as a trophy, and then we're going to send you another one so you can build it and paint it.
That's awesome. That's
So,
fantastic.
we've got some big plans for where this could go in the next 12 months. Yeah.
KP just said he sort of, or no, he said, did Ronnie just announce Halo Firefight? Now we're working on this.
No.
And he said he also sort of announced Rebs. So there
Sort
we
of.
go. Sort of. That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to add, or anything else you want to tell that's coming out? Can I?
No, I think if you like Assassin's Creed but haven't looked, go have a look at the video, which is cool. We're conscious that it's not, like I said, it's not a core IP, so we've got it going live next Tuesday. Big box of joy. And then we're going to give 1-2 more shout outs in the newsletter, and then that's done, because like I said, this is for Assassin's Creed lovers.
Right.
Kickstarter backers, not the core Mantic crowd. Epic coming big time. And if you like cute Trident Realms characters with really cute familiars, I think Champions is getting Splish. I'm
so excited. So excited for that.
So there's some really lovely. The Champions, that's the last set before the new set that's comes out. So that the next set will be the first one that wasn't in the original book. So that's going to come out next. So that'll be exciting.
I forgot. Thank you. He said Dreadball All Stars. I wanted to ask you about that too. I forgot. There's so much Mantic stuff going on. I forgot to ask about All Stars.
Well, I've been taking all this Halo money and just like spending it on all the things I've wanted to do for ages. Like, oh yeah, we want to get this guy to come and write this game. So that's going to probably late in the year. It's probably going to be the last mini project for delivery next year. But big reveals coming up. We've got a play test next weekend. I'm going to start teasing out some photos. You can see, guess who we've got involved in this, but we've got a couple of really big names, real brilliant talent to just come and make it happen. So,
I have the original. I have everything for the original.
Yeah, I've got it all here as well, actually. I was looking at it the other day. And I think it's important to go, this is Dreadball All-Stars. It's not Dreadball, it's Dreadball All-Stars. This is the big Saturday night MVP. Every character's named. We're going to lean into that kind of deeper into the IP. It's not the Dwarf, it's not the Forge Father team. It's this corporation's star players team, which means it's really a bit more characterful, a bit more granular, and a bit more narrative and a bit more wacky.
Right.
So that's where it's going to be good fun, and we'll probably November.
One thing about Mantic Games, it's always I've noticed that no matter what happens on the table and no matter what the rules say, there's always a story on that table, and it's always been a story. This happened. Yeah. That's the one thing I take away from all the Mantic Games that I've never had anywhere else.
And that's because if it's not fun and it's not visually stimulating, it's not a game I want to make.
Right.
I want you to be telling stories in your own head, because that's what war gaming is about. I was going to say more balanced. There isn't any games more balanced than ours, but that's just a byproduct of us being brilliant and perfect in every way. But it's not the primary purpose. The primary purpose is memorable moments. I still remember when Andy Sherman and I were having a throwdown, and his ogre general was on God knows how many points. And the first turn, I could have broken him anything but a 3. So 4 or more, he was gone. I rolled a 3. The next turn, I rolled Snake Eyes. So even though he was deader than a dead thing, and that just swings the game. And I'm like, but it's characterful. That's the guy. He's hanging on. He's just fighting. He doesn't know he's finished. And that's what you remember 10 years after the fact. And I think that's what we are trying to create. Those unfair moments, those heroic moments where the dice give you the 12 sixes or the snake eyes, whichever one it is that gives you. And, Dreadball, the same thing, wasn't it? You set up, and then that final 2 or 3 plays when you've got to bring it back, dynamic scoring, you're throwing your cards down, you're making the outrageous throw, you're looking for that lucky dice, because that's how it keeps it fresh. And, that's what creates the cinematic moments.
And there's one thing I just remembered, and I'm gonna go backwards a little bit. I got all the tokens, and it looks like a little claw on that token.
You got them all. Look at that.
Is that all you can say?
Watch this space.
I'm so excited to see what that's going to be. But
well, we've got
Ronnie,
to talk about that. So I think you should tell people. So if you've got the last of the champion sets, how did you get the other two? I think you've got 2 ordered, haven't you, at the moment?
I got 2 more, but I saw the other pieces. Somebody showed me the other pieces for the other ones that completed mine. And already I've got those 4 pieces, and I'm like, that kind of looks like a claw or something like that. So yeah, I got it sitting right over here. So
well, I think you can guess what it's relating to. It's certainly set in the world of Panithor. It's definitely a Panithor clue. So keep watching. We've got some mind-blowing stuff coming.
Awesome. Ronnie, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. I really appreciate you coming on here, and we'll talk again in a month or so, possibly, and find out what else is going on when you're not busy. And
10 past 6 on a Friday night. It's hot and sticky. I'm going to have a shower and I'm going to get a beer. So that's time to slide into the weekend. But thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Ronnie. I appreciate it.
Thanks for supporting Mantic. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. You're going to get more of my money. That's for sure. Stick around for 1 second there, Ronnie. About that.